Welcome back to the Immigration Answer Show. My name is Jim Hacking. This is episode number 524 of the Immigration Answer Show. We did 5 shows last week. That's pretty crazy. I don't know how many we're going to do this week, but we're here today and tomorrow and probably Wednesday. This is the 524th episode of the show. We're glad you all are here. Thank you all for joining us. The waiting room is now open. If you want to get in the waiting room early, you should text the word show, S-H-O-W, to 314-470-3300. That's what the OGs do. That's how they know what's what. They get in there before all you ham and eggers come on and get the link on here. They are smart people, right-thinking kind of people, and they know what's what. Looks like we got a lot of people watching. Christine is here. Joan is here. Felicia and Moonshine are here. Chetty sends greetings. JP says hello from Ohio. Omar's here. James is watching in Haiti. We got North Dakota in the house. Love this informational show and would totally buy merch with my favorite phrase that Jim uses. How about that? Hello, Jim. Watching you live from Ghana. That's Prince. Vishnu's here, of course, from New York. Vishnu sends me funny emails when I say things that are funny. Vishnu emails me back. Ontario is here. Hey, by the way, we got info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com working, so don't be using my real email address. Those that know. Otherwise, everyone should just be using info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. We got that bad boy going. Nurse Laura is here. Kadisha is here. Michael's here from Utah, of course. Heecha's here. Fleming from Houston. Raphael is wishing hello to Nurse Laura. Arlene is here. Ferdimenko, MD, Maryland. Jane is here. American Muslim is here. Have I had a good Monday so far? Jim, MD, asks. I would say so. It's been a little hectic, but you know what? The sun is out. We haven't had the sun out here in about 10 days or a week, it seems like. So I woke up this morning and I could see the moonlight and I was like, oh, that means no clouds. So I was happy. AJ's back. Let's all send some good love AJ's way. Wow, this show goes by fast. I started the show since the 360. So wow, that's 160 shows. Yeah, we do 3 or 4 a week. So we're catching up to the Simpsons here pretty soon. We got Sierra Leone, North Dakota. We got Mark asks how I like the NFL games. Well, those of you who are watching on Saturday know that I predicted the 49ers would be playing the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and I was correct. It's not who I wanted to win. I wanted the other 2 teams to win. I'll just say this. It's really weird. I like Andy Reid. I like Patrick Mahomes. I like Travis Kelce. I like Taylor Swift. I like all those guys, all those people. But I just hate this tomahawk chop. And the Chief fans, they're getting sort of a pain in the ass now. I'm sort of sick of them. So I don't know. I won't be rooting for anybody in the Super Bowl. I'll just look for a good game. And that was a heck of a game, heck of a comeback by your 49ers of San Francisco. That was something else. Jamal is saying hello all the way from Nigeria. Heineken is in Bahrain. Nasir's in Toronto. Oh, what are you doing in Toronto, Nasir? You're not usually there. And the Burger King is here. Oh, Jamal's in Virginia. Hasn't gone yet. All right. Sarah's been waiting while I've been ranting with all my silliness. Hello, Sarah.
Hello, can you hear me?
I got you. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thanks for having me. Can I start with my questions?
Of course.
Okay. So I wanted to ask about the change of status of tourist visa to student visa, and whether it's something that can be done while the person who's the tourist is in the U.S., or that they need to. And so first, whether that they need to do that while they're in the U.S., and second, if they get an admission, whether they need to leave the U.S. and do the interview for a student visa.
What country does the person come from?
Iran.
So are they male or female?
Male.
So have they been in the United States before on a visit visa?
No, first time.
Okay, so this is their first visit to the United States. And when they went to the embassy to say that they were coming for a visit, what was the purpose of the trip?
At that point, it was just for a visit. So it's my brother, and they wanted to come here, and they had other plans for graduate studies. But there is an opportunity for graduate studies, so they were wondering about these legally. How would that work?
So here's what I want to walk through with you, and this is sort of a complicated question. Okay, so generally,
Mhm.
Sarah, I'm always complaining on the show about people that try to change their status in the United States. Now, when I was a baby immigration lawyer, you filled out that I-539, it got approved in 6 weeks, 8 weeks. So you would even know before your visa was up whether they were going to approve your change of status or not. Okay. That started getting slower, and slower. Right. And so now people don't find out for a year and a half. So they have a school that wants to take them as an international student. They got the money, they got the skills, they got the grades, they got everything that anyone would ever want.
Mhm.
And every now and then, people on this show will tell me, Jim, I filed for change of status B1, B2 to F1, and it sailed right through 2 months. But the vast majority of people, it drags on, and sometimes they'll say, hey, we've been taking a long time to process this case. Your I-20 is expired. We'll send you an RFE. Can you get us a new I-20? So then you go back to the school, send it back.
Mhm.
Sometimes they deny it, right? So does your brother have a multiple entry visa, or does he have a one-time entry?
I don't know. I think it's probably a one-time entry
Okay. So
because it's a tourist. I think for Iranian citizens, usually tourist visas are single entry.
I would believe that to be true. I don't know for sure,
Yeah.
but if you told me that, I wouldn't fight with you. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
So generally in 2024, I am against this plan, right?
Okay.
Generally I'm against this plan. And one of the other problems is that, I mean, one is he's left here in limbo for months and months, not knowing what's going to happen. That sort of sucks. Now,
Yeah.
some schools will let him start the program, some won't. You know, obviously he's
Mhm.
going to pay international student rates, which really sucks.
Mhm.
So, all that being said, I'm generally not a fan of this approach. Generally, I would want him to line up the school, get enrolled in the or get approved for the program, then to go back home. And now, of course, there's no home when you're talking about a consulate for Iran because we don't have one in Tehran. So,
That's right.
where did he go? Did he go to Armenia, or what did he do?
He went to Armenia.
Yeah. So after I've said everything I've just said, I'll tell you this. So my wife is from Egypt. I became Muslim 30 years ago.
Mm.
Many of my clients are from predominantly Muslim countries. I've had a shitload of clients from Iran, and I've also had a bunch of clients from Iran who I've had to sue the government to get them their F1s, right? So I haven't done that in a while, but I
Wow.
used to do it. I used to do it all the time. I had to sue for these students who wanted to go get their PhD at Penn State, but and the school wanted to take them. They had the money, they had their credentials, but for whatever reason, Trump or racial or religious discrimination, all that stuff, they weren't giving them the visa. So
Mhm.
so if you ask me, Jim, what do you think are the chances of my brother getting a change of status in the United States? I would say 40%. Jim, what do you think are the chances of my brother getting an F1 visa to come back to the United States from Armenia after having just been here on a visit visa? I would say 15%, 20%. So
Mm.
neither option is great. But when it comes
One is
to
a little bit better.
a little bit better, a little bit better. And of course, he's here. So the one other thing that I want to throw out there is, and this
Yeah.
is for everybody, is
Okay.
when you apply for a change of status, if that doesn't go through, that becomes sort of a black mark on your
Mhm.
visa. And so you promised, hey, brother, you promised us that you were going to come back to Iran when we gave you that visa, and you didn't. So that all being said, if it were me, everything I've said, if it were me, I would probably do what you want to do. I would probably do it because I think that most likely he's not coming, and it might be his one chance to stay in the United States and go to school.
Right. And okay, so in that case, do you think that before his entry to the US, it would be okay for him to apply, or you would think that it's safer to apply to the program after he is in the US, meaning for the risk for the change of status, I mean?
Wait, so he's not even here yet?
No, he's traveling in about a month. He received his visa, and in the visa, its expiration date is April 15th. So we figured that he has time to come here, and so he was wondering maybe you should apply for a school, and then come here. But I wasn't, the question I had was, would that be something that when he hopefully gets an admission and wants to do change of status, would that be an information that would then become questionable?
Wait, you're asking me if someone who has an approved visit visa should start messing around with school stuff before they actually enter the United States? Yeah,
Yeah.
hell no, hell no,
Okay.
hell no. No, that would be
Okay.
that'd be a big problem. That would be great evidence for them to establish that he had intent to get an F1 visa and therefore misrepresented himself for the purpose of the visit visa.
That's what I was thinking.
What,
Okay.
what I'm thinking of is, oh, he's been here 2 or 3 months. Oh, I really like it here. My awesome sister is here. There's this cool school over here. No.
Yeah.
None of that stuff now.
Okay. And then the other thing is, have you seen change of status from, not from Iranians, but other nationals, tourists to F1? And in those cases, did they have to leave the country, or could they actually stay here for those extended periods of time you mentioned, maybe months and months?
You mean while it's pending? While it's pending? Yeah. I mean, it's risky, but once you file it, you can stay. The rules say that you can stay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Good question, Sarah. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
See ya. All right. Hey, Rich is saying that Rich didn't get the text today. Did you guys get the text? I think it went out. I don't know. What the heck? I'm not in charge of that. Let me see. Maybe not. Maybe. I think she forgot. Did she forget? Yeah. I don't see the text. Did anybody get the text today? Uh-oh. We're going to have to talk to old Umar about that. I should call her in here and see if we can all tease her. AJ did his change of status in the United States, Sarah, so there's hope. All right. Yura is here. Hello, Yura.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
Awesome. How you doing?
I'm good. My question is, if someone has received a denial due to inadmissibility or, misrepresentation, if they are now doing a new application for an I-130 to come here to the U.S., can the I-130 and the I-601 be done simultaneously, or does the I-601 have to be done after the I-130 has been approved?
Would you believe it? I just made a video on this very subject. It'll come out in a couple of weeks, but the answer to your question is you got to wait. You got to wait till they tell you.
You said wait until, so basically the I-130 has to be approved first, and then do you have to wait until you have the interview so that they can deny you, and then you have to do the 601, or is it, okay, you're saying yes, so you have to wait. Goodness gracious.
But this was the point of the video. You do have to wait. You can't file it until they tell you that the person is inadmissible in this case, right? So, the trick, though, is that, that's not going to be for a year and a half. So what you need to do is you need to be building the waiver case while the I-130 is pending. So in other words, if we know we're going to need a waiver, and that's a year or 14 months from now, do you think it's better to have 14 months worth of evidence of hardship if the person gets deported or isn't allowed to come to the United States? Or do you think it's better if you scramble after they tell you that you need the waiver and start building the case then?
Okay, that makes sense.
So for instance, if I know that, let's say that the spouse is in Uganda, and if this waiver isn't approved, the U.S. citizen is going to have to go live in Uganda. Well, do they speak the language in Uganda? Have they ever been to Uganda? Do they know how to do a job that would translate well to Uganda? Are they depressed? Can they go see a therapist? And start building all that evidence of hardship early on. That's what I'd be doing.
Okay, that answers my question. Thank you. That's all I wanted to know.
Bye, Yura. Thanks. All right. I think I'm having a little bit of a cough. I'm gonna have to open up these little mints. Oh, Brian's back. Hello, Brian.
Hey, Jim. How you doing? I'm happy that you remember.
What's up? What do you got? I got you. I can hear you. Go ahead.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can
Yeah,
you
what's
hear me
up?
now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jim, I wanted to ask, after how long do I like have to sue the USCIS in case I don't get a response for my 485?
What's the receipt date?
The receipt date is September 15th,
Of 23?
2023. Yes,
Yeah, you got to wait at least a year.
a year.
Yeah.
And it's Seattle.
Yeah, so Seattle, they're really slow. So I would say a year and a half maybe for Seattle.
Oh, okay. And uh about the waiver, because you were just, I mean, saying the same thing with the previous caller.
Uh-huh.
So you were talking about the US citizen probably not being able to speak the language back in say Uganda. So how do you need to prove that? Like, do you need to say get friends to write declarations and you notarize them, something like that? Or
I think that piece of
last
evidence
time you talked about a psychologist.
I think that piece of evidence would have to actually come from the US citizen themselves.
Okay.
And if they have some kind of learning disability, I would want evidence of that. If they've tried for 3 months to learn the language in Uganda and just aren't able to do it, I would have them talk about that. I mean, eventually you might need an expert witness to explain why they can't learn the language, but so I would always say that a waiver case is going to be much easier if the culture and the race of the people in the relationship are different. So in other words, if I had a lady who grew up in Uganda, got a green card as an adult, came to the United States, got her citizenship, and then married someone from Uganda, that's very, very different than some like white lady from Appalachia who falls in love with from somebody from Uganda who would just be like a complete fish out of water in Uganda. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. Okay. Okay. Well, that's it, Jim. Thank you
Bye,
very
Brian.
much.
See you, buddy. All right. Yeah, everyone's talking about something going around. For me, it's the dry. It's all the heat that's on. It's so dry that it just makes me coffee. Ariana is here. Hello, Ariana.
Hi, how you doing?
Great. How are you doing? I
I'm
like your
good.
sweatshirt.
So I was just watching your videos with my husband.
Yeah.
And so I got my advance parole on the mail today.
Nice.
I just had thank you. I just got a question. So I saw your video on advance parole and you mentioned that it was like a little bit risky for people that were out of status for a while. And so I came in July with a tourist visa. And then after 3 months, I married my husband, who's a US citizen. And when we filed, it was like a month or so after that my visa had already expired. So
Your
I don't know if you would
your,
consider.
your visa or the entry stamp, the 6 months that you got.
I guess, yeah, the entry stamp.
Okay.
And so I don't know if you would consider that risky since it was like, because you mentioned like a long time and I don't know how to measure that. So
When did you file the I-130 and the 45?
it was the first week of January 2023.
So it's been a year.
Yes.
And if you had an interview, where would your interview be? What field office?
Baltimore.
Oh man, Baltimore's pretty fast. Can you wait a couple more months? I bet they're pretty close to giving you your green card.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't think it's a good idea for me to go to Peru if it's like?
I wouldn't say it's a bad idea. I would just say if you can avoid it, you're this close to getting your green card, I would just sit tight and let it finish up. Is there some reason you got to go back?
Not necessarily, but it's just everything that they told me was like it took a little bit longer than what they told me. So I'm just like,
Yeah. Is your spouse going to go with you or by yourself?
Yeah. Yes, he's gonna come with me.
That's probably okay.
Oh, okay. Well,
from a purely immigration standpoint, it's better to wait, but it's not like when I say being out of status for a long time, I mean like years and years.
okay, so it's more like a blank thing.
Yeah, but I'm always going to say don't travel if you can avoid it. I'm always going to say that for everybody.
Okay. Well,
All right.
thank
Bye,
you.
Ariana. See ya. Oh, one of my wife's best friends is from Peru, and she might go see her in New York in a couple of weeks. So that's pretty fun. I'd really like to go to Peru. One of my clients is a geologist, and she's always going down to Peru. All right, all right. BG's in the house. What's up, BG?
Hello, Jim.
How you doing?
I am great. I have been watching your videos. It's like binge watching a show.
People like the show. People like the show. I mean, I don't know if you watched last week, but we had some crazy shit go down last week. We had a lady whose husband was going over to marry his second wife. We had Shaka who was telling some crazy story. So it's been an interesting couple of days on the old show.
Yes. I see the transformation. It's like watching a real life story of people just evolving.
Yeah.
I have a question, and this one is about travel documents and passports. It's just hypothetical.
Okay.
So let's say John is on pending asylum, and 5 years later, John's parents are on asylum as well.
Okay, so this is like now we're getting on a law school question. So how old is John?
John is let's say 25.
So John has his own asylum case, not just his parents' case.
Yes. They're different. So 5 years later, John meets his wife. They get married, and John gets a green card. And the fact that John was planning on getting a refugee travel document and now doesn't apply because John decided to remove his asylum because it was still pending and he got the green card. In this case, what kind of travel document can John apply for that would work as a passport, since he has a passport that expired?
Can he not get a passport from the old country?
That was the actual question. If John applied for a passport from the old country and gets it, would that hurt the case for the parents that's still pending, or it doesn't really apply?
So the question is, do I think that the issue of the fact that the son now has a green card and got a passport, is that issue going to come up in the parents' case at all? I think the chances of it even coming up are like 2%. And even if it does, I think getting the passport is fundamentally different than going back to the country. If he doesn't go back to the country, I don't think it's that big of a problem. So their case isn't going to be approved or denied because of that. I'll just say that.
Oh, okay. And in case that, let's say John can get the passport from the old country, what type of travel document can he apply for?
I don't think any. I think he's got to wait till he becomes a citizen.
Ooh, okay. So a reentry permit would not apply for a green card holder?
I don't think so. Not if they got their green card through marriage.
Yes. John got it through marriage.
Yeah, and you don't mean reentry permit, you mean refugee travel document.
No, I mean reentry. So refugee cannot apply since John removed to the asylum.
Right,
case.
But a reentry permit isn't a substitute for a passport. It just, a reentry permit gives you permission to be out of the United States for 2 years.
Ooh, okay. I just saw some random video again.
They're all on the same form, the 131. They're all on the same form, but no, that's not like the green card holder's substitute passport.
Okay, so the only option for John would be to apply and hope to get a passport from the old country,
or wait till they become a citizen.
Okay, all right, that was my question. Well, thanks.
Bye, BG. See you, buddy. All right. How's everybody doing? How is everybody doing? What's going on? It's a little quiet for Monday. We do have over 200 people watching, so that's sort of fun. Text the word show to 314-470-3300 if you want to get on our text list, and if Umar remembers to send the text. How about that? Hoolie's laughing. We all like to tease old Umar. I texted her. Let me see what she said. Let's see what she said. I thought I sent it out. Oh, wait, she probably forgot to hit send. That happens to me sometimes. I will do that for sure. All right. Let me come back and let me talk to David. Hello, David.
Hello. Hey, how are you, Jim?
I'm great, buddy. How you doing?
Good. Hey, listen, I'm calling from Ecuador, and I have we have something called parole of family reunification. I don't know if you heard about it. It's quite right now. A lot of people are applying for it because I my I-130 is from March 17, 2017, and I got the invite on November 2023, and my application was sent over on this January, and I got a confirmation. But the issue that I'm having is that my sister got a sponsorship and everything was okay, and it was a confirm. But for some reason, the email didn't it wasn't sent. So I called in the USCIS phone number, and they said that they have the confirmation, but the code wasn't generated. So I was able to get in hold from the English line to the Spanish line, and they both saying that they won't be able to give me the information, and they escalate the case. But it's taking it might take 30 days, and whenever they send me the email, it's just a random email. It looks like it's computer generated. So what do you think I should do on this case?
I think you got to give them the 30 days and see what happens.
Oh, because I've been reading on the internet, it says that they usually just say the 30 days and they keep you on hold for at least 3 months.
It could be. I mean, here's the thing: that whole parole for people from Nicaragua and other countries, that's all like a really new program. So they don't know what in the hell to do. They're like, what are we supposed to do with this? They have no clue. So the fact that things aren't working or that emails aren't sending, that doesn't surprise me at all. That's just how it is right now.
Oh, I see. So you think I might just keep trying and give them a call every day?
I'd say every week.
Every week? Okay. Thank you, Jim.
Hi, David. See you, buddy. All right. Christine is here. Hi, Christine.
Hi, are you hearing me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, I'm good. Thanks for selecting me.
Sure. What's up?
I have about 3 questions. So the situation is, we went to the U.S. Embassy in Jamaica, and we received, I think it's a 221G letter with some stuff that we needed to submit, including the medical and a document from the courthouse stating the charge, because there's a criminal charge. So we submitted those, and we weren't hearing anything. So in September last year, I sent them a message to say that I haven't heard anything. It's been a while, and they responded to say that we are to pick up some documents in Kingston. When we went to Kingston, they returned our passports and a letter to say that we are not qualified due to I'm trying to remember the word. Basically, what they said is that when I googled it, it meant that the charge, like the offense or the charge that you got charged, you benefited from it. I don't remember the word. I really want to. Let me see. I'm not remembering the word, but it's so. Anyway, they said that we could file a waiver. So my question is, included in the application are children. One who the oldest, which is 19. So I'm wondering how long after doing your interview or after receiving the letter that you can, if you choose, if you can go ahead and file the waiver. Also, can the child age out of the application itself? It's a family-based petition. And how what is the how likely is it for these waivers to be approved? Because I spoke to a friend and she was saying the waivers don't normally make sense. So I'm just trying to. I just need some assistance in order to make up my mind as to what I'm going to do next.
So who filed? Who, you keep saying we. Who's we? You and your spouse?
Yes, and our children. But
Okay.
I'm not on the application.
Why are you not on the application?
I'm the in-law. I already have a visa for myself.
Okay, so who petitioned? Who are you? The principal applicant?
No,
Or you,
so it's for my spouse and our children.
are you a U.S. citizen or a green card holder?
No, I just have a visitor's visa.
Okay, who applied for your spouse?
His mother.
Okay, and so what was the charge that he got charged with?
He registered a motor vehicle in his name. It wasn't his vehicle. He did it for a friend, and he was told about 6 to 8 months down the line that the vehicle was stolen. So they charged him for it.
And did he plead guilty?
He said after about 18 days in lockup, he just did it because they told him if he pled guilty, he could go home. So he said, yes, he did it. But this was about almost 20 years ago.
So that's a conviction.
Yes.
So he's a conviction for fraud. So that makes him inadmissible to the United States. That's why they invited a waiver. Right? I'm
not familiar with the criminal system. Does a conviction mean that you serve time, or a conviction just mean you had a charge?
Immigration wants to use whatever happened to you against you, so it's just the conviction. If he pled guilty to get out of jail after 18 days, then it's probably a conviction for what USCIS would be concerned about.
Okay. So jail is, yeah, I guess, yeah.
Okay, so the question is, we have someone you said his mother filed for him?
Yes.
And when it got, so the I-130 got approved, they believe the relationship, and now they're inviting him to file a waiver if he wants to be able to come to the United States. And who are the qualifying? Why would it be a hardship for your mother-in-law, for his mother, to not let your husband come to the United States?
I don't understand what a waiver is. So I don't know. Well,
Yeah, you can answer that. I can answer that.
Okay.
So right now, as things stand right now, he can't get into the United States. They can't give him a visa, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they can't give him a visa because he has a criminal conviction from 20 years ago for fraud.
Okay.
So he's a convicted criminal with a fraud charge. Fraud is one of the reasons why you can't get an immigrant visa to come to the United States.
Hold on, give me a minute.
Yeah.
All right, tell him I'm coming right now. I'm coming. Just put on your slippers and let's go. Well, it's the charge did not say fraud. It says forged documents. I don't know if it makes a difference.
Same thing. Same thing.
Okay.
So
all right.
So right now, as things stand, if you don't do anything, he's not coming. The rules say he can't come. So you're going to ask for a waiver. You're going to ask them to waive or forgive the fact that he's got this conviction and to let him come anyway. Right? So in order to in order to win the waiver, you have to explain to the federal government that some U.S. citizen is going to suffer extreme hardship, or green card holder, extreme hardship, more than regular hardship, if the waiver isn't granted. So in other words, they know that your mother-in-law being separated from your husband produces hardship because he can't come. They're separated. They don't live together, right? So that's like a baseline. You're going to have to show a lot more than that. You have to show that she's going to have some extreme hardship, like she's dying, or she has some crazy health issue, or she can't come live in Jamaica, right? So these are all the kinds of things you'd have to prove. So I think it's pretty hard, And I think the chances of success are very low. I don't think this is going to work. I don't think he's coming to the United States. Now you could try to undo the conviction, but if some lawyer promises you that if you pay me $7,500 or $5,000 or $10,000, I can get you this waiver, you don't believe him. It's not that easy.
That's the money that we're being asked to pay right now, and that's like 1.5 million Jamaican dollars. So that's, as I said, that's why I have been questioning it, is because I'm saying if she's sick, which she is, couldn't we just use that money to pay for her medical expenses and whatever it is?
I mean, there might be a waiver case, but you know, unless you get that conviction thrown out, which you might try doing, you might see if you can get that vacated, right? And then attack the waiver. If mom's really sick, you might be able to do it. But I think no one could tell you that the chances of success are more than 20%. So you could spend $1 million Jamaican dollars on something that has a 20% chance of working. And I wouldn't want you to do that, and I wouldn't take your money to do that.
Well, as I said, it's because I've been weighing the options since last year. But my question is this: the waiver process, as you said, which some other persons on some platforms online, they're also saying what you're saying, that the likelihood is thin. So wouldn't they just say, why does the mom and don't just move back to Jamaica?
Yep, for sure.
Because that's my thought. I know she has some concerns about she did surgery about 3 times last year. So I think she's worried that she won't get the type of service here versus there. But as I said, but my concern, even if it's just to visit, do you believe that they would just give us like a tip? Because I can travel and I haven't traveled for a while because I don't like leaving my family and going places. So do you think they could just give them like a typical visa? We can go a week and come back like I normally would have done in the past?
You and the girls can, but he can't. The same reason that keeps him from getting an immigrant visa would keep him from getting a non-immigrant visa.
Okay. All right. Final question. You said have the case thrown out. I know we normally use different language. Are you referring to an expungement or to revisit the case?
No, I'm not talking about an expungement. I'm talking about reopening the case and seeing if the prosecutor will dismiss it outright, because it was 20 years ago and he's been a good person ever since.
So your suggestion is to try that option versus. So what if it got expunged? Can something that was expunged be reopened?
It's very, very hard. That's why I hate expungements.
Now you're giving me something to think about.
I think your $1 million Jamaican dollars would be better spent on that than a waiver.
Okay. If I get the case reopened and thrown out, can I then come to you for, I don't know.
Yeah, and don't forget, you want to keep that case alive. You know, you don't want to let that, if a year goes by and they don't hear from you about anything, then you're that case could all be closed up. So you got to keep that case alive and try to attack the conviction, and then we could talk maybe about a waiver, or maybe arguing that there's no waiver needed anymore.
How do I keep that case alive? Is that something you can assist me with?
No, I'm not doing that. You got to keep contacting them, because I don't want to get involved just for that. That's too much of a hassle.
So just contacting them is good enough to keep it open?
I think so. Yep.
Any suggestion on how to contact them?
Well, you have till September, right?
Oh, I have until, well, the letter was dated August, but they didn't tell us about it until September.
So you have till August. So get working on the conviction and see what you can do.
Okay. I hope we can talk in the future.
All right.
But you're saying the kids can get a regular visa. That's what you're saying?
Should be able to. They didn't do anything wrong.
No. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
See ya.
Bye.
Man, oh man, we're getting a lot of followers in Jamaica these days. A lot in Jamaica. I've been talking to a lot of people from Jamaica, a lot of people in America from Jamaica. So you know what this means? This means Amani and I need to go to Jamaica. That's what this means. I love Jamaica. Jamaica's a lot of fun. We could do a show in Jamaica. How about that? That'd be really fun. All right. I was going to call on Joan next. Hi, Joan.
Hi, I
Hey.
have a question for you. My question, I petitioned my husband. He's from a Muslim country. I am older than him. My petition date is March the 15th, 2023. I went on immigration site and checked, and they stated my case is being reviewed. It's taking a little bit longer. What could I do to prepare myself because of the age gap? Is there anything I can do?
Well, how much of an age gap is it?
My husband is 40 and I am 70.
So 30 years. And what Muslim country is it? Please don't say Morocco.
No,
What is it?
Tunisia. I've been there 5 times.
It's a tough case, sister. They're going to think he's coming just to get a green card. They're not going to believe that you guys are in love. 30 years is a big time. 70 years old is a big gap. I think you're going to have a hard time.
Okay.
If you're asking me, Jim, what do you think are the chances of success? I'd say probably 20%.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So I would just keep having visits and it's all going to come down to him because here's what's going to happen.
Yes.
At some point, they're going to call him in for an interview at the consulate and they're going to be mean as hell to him. They're going to say, you don't love old Joan. You just want to get a green card. This is bullshit. And they're going to bring in some like Muslim guy or some Tunisian guy or a Tunisian lady. And they're going to say, why don't you want to marry a Tunisian woman? Why you got to marry that old lady from America? You just want to get a green card. This isn't a real marriage. That's exactly what's going to happen. So if you want to ask me what you need to be doing, he needs to get ready for that because if he can't do a good job explaining this, he's screwed.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye, Joan. See ya.
Uh-huh.
I was being nice, people. I was being nice with my 20%. Dana is here. Hello, Dana.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How you doing? I
I'm
like those.
doing. Thank you so much. I don't know if you remember me. I was from a previous live show, and you told me that just shy was enough to warrant making a whole video about my case.
Did I do it?
No, I was just shy on the affidavit of support, but I'm happy to report that my husband is now here with me, going on the 2-year mark. So yay. I just had a couple questions. We are looking to do the conditional, what's it called? The something to remove the conditions for his green card.
Yep.
I was looking and it expires 7/16/24, so it's coming up. I did the little calculator on the USCIS website and it says the earliest we can file is April. I'm just in a frenzy, like wanting to go ahead and get it done. But I did also see a disclaimer that says it might be too early if you do it prior to that 90-day mark.
Don't file too early. You should file May 1st. Don't cut it too close. May 1st is when you should file.
May 1st for July 16th.
Yeah. So,
okay.
That means if it's July, that's 7/16. That means he could apply April 16th, but I don't want you to cut it too close. So I would say the last week of April, maybe, or May 1st.
Okay. Also, an additional question. I noticed on the form that it has a lot of spaces for additional children. We have since just had 1 child together, and I have 2 from a previous marriage. Does he need to list my kids as well, or just the one we had together?
There's no downside to listing your kids, so I would list them.
Okay, will do. And then, so basically the best supporting forms of documentation are like a joint tax return, a mortgage, which we have gotten, the baby's birth certificate, anything else you can think of that would be a ballpark swing?
Trips, naming each other on work documentation.
Okay, so like beneficiary for a work life insurance type of thing.
Estate plan wouldn't be a bad idea. Now that you have a kid, an estate plan would be good, like a will or a trust.
Okay. and then a 401k beneficiary. And
Yeah, that's
I
all
think
good.
that was all my questions, Mr. Jim. Thank you.
Thanks, Dana. See ya.
Take care.
All right. We talk a lot about football on this show. We talk a lot about soccer on this show. We don't talk that much about baseball. But there's one thing that happens in baseball games that I think are very interesting. If a pitcher is throwing a no-hitter, that is, if the pitcher has gone 6 or 7 innings and no one has gotten a hit off of him, or in softball against her, then the announcers are not supposed to say, hey, Jim's pitching a no-hitter, or hey, Roger Clemens is pitching a no-hitter. You don't want to say that because you don't want to jinx it, right? So if the announcer says, hey, we're heading into the 7th inning and this guy hasn't given up a hit, then there's a hit, then everyone's going to blame the announcer. So you never, ever say. It's sort of like an unwritten rule in baseball. I bring that up just because I don't know why I bring this up, but if you look at this comment, old Henekin's going to jinx us. We're at the 46-minute mark and no one's asked to be off camera. The question is, can we make it the whole time without getting someone off camera? I don't know, but it is crazy. On Mondays, as I've mentioned, everybody's happy and everybody is in a good mood. But man, by the time we get to Thursday, nobody wants to be on camera. I don't know what it's really an interesting thing. All right. Juan is here. Hello, Juan.
Hey, how's it going, Jim?
Good.
Hey, one question. I have my appointment here at the city of Juarez for my green card, and did my medical exam. Was truthful. They asked me questions of any drugs. Told them, drink very occasional. My used to smoke cigarettes, caffeine, everything that we're using. And then like not 3 months ago, some friends came over. They brought some CB gummies that they bought at Food Lion, and not thinking anything of it. They got it at the store, took one, and I was truthful, telling her everything, make sure, being, I was not lying, and one in the 24th, just thinking, these are friends, business friends, and just thinking, hey, this is there was fine, it was bought at the store, so I was truthful in my medical exam. My blood and everything came out 100%, negative for everything, but it did do a P test. The P test did come back positive, but not sure how much. It couldn't be that much because the CBDs have very low THC, but I did fail that drug test. So now, just thinking I have a business over there, 3 kids over there, been married for a long time now, almost 8 years. So what can I do? Like, what's the steps? I know I have my interview tomorrow. I'm prepping. I have it at 9 in the morning, trying to do notes and everything, pretty much prepared. Our marriage is truthful. It's just now we're running into the situation where, nervousness and just worried, with the outcome, maybe I don't know what, maybe you're going to give me some classes. I don't know. What is your professional point of view?
So this is a very unfortunate situation. And so you're telling me that so you were in the United States and you came back just for the interview?
Right. So I was in the United States, since I was 7. They brought me over just, my parents decided to bring me over. So I've been over there. I had DACA since the beginning and everything. So everything was good. I had DACA. My interview, was, the 30th. So flew in here the 20th and hoping, everything was fine. But the one question, and I answered truthfully, and didn't want to lie about, anything. And then this is where I'm at now. I have my interview tomorrow, and
I'm glad you're telling the truth. Juan, did a lawyer file this case for you, or did you do it on your own?
I did. I do have a lawyer. But she was not very helpful, through the whole process. My wife, the petitioner, put everything, submitted everything to her, and then
Are you sure they're a lawyer?
Yeah, she's a lawyer there in Greenville, North Carolina. So she's a lawyer for criminal and everything. It's just wish I would have just, been more clear. She didn't really prepare me for anything, so I came in here blindsided, really.
So just real quick, as we sit here right now, did she ever talk to you about advanced parole?
What's advanced parole?
Okay. So did you maintain DACA? Did you ever lose DACA, or did you have it all the way?
I had it all the way. I even, till today I have it. I mean, I just renovated it and stuff. So I do have DACA in place. It's just,
So are you
I was just
are you
going.
ready? Are you ready? Because I'm giving you some really bad news right now. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
This whole situation could have been avoided. The lawyer fucked up. Okay. When you have DACA, one of the great benefits from Papa Barack and Papa Joe is that along with DACA, you can get advanced parole. So the reason you needed to come to Mexico was because you had this unauthorized entry. I assume that's the only waiver you needed was for the entry and the overstay, right?
Right.
So if I had been your lawyer, what I would have done is I would have said, "Hey Juan, let's get you advanced parole. You go back to Mexico, you go visit grandmama, take care of her, say hi, check on uncle, somebody. There's some reason why you have to go back to Mexico. You go on advanced parole. It's a document that you get as part of DACA. You can pay extra for it as part of DACA. You leave, you go to Mexico, and then you come back to the United States. You have a valid entry, so you can actually get a green card through your spouse without leaving the United States and without going to Mexico."
Jeez. Yeah.
So that was mistake number one. But it's really going to screw you because now you're most likely going to get a refusal tomorrow, and you're going to get put into this protocol where you have to stay in Mexico for a year and get randomly tested when they tell you they feel like testing you. And if you comply with all that and all this other stuff, then they might give you the visa a year from now. I mean, I hope that doesn't happen. But I think the chances of you getting a visa tomorrow are, I hate to say it, about 20%.
Okay. So
you
just
got,
go in there. Sorry.
go in there and say, "My lawyer messed up. Please let me come back to the United States. I didn't know about advanced parole. I didn't know that eating this one gummy when my friends came over was going to screw me on this drug test. I have a business. I have a family. I really need to come back." And just like, I would be completely honest tomorrow. You were very honest to me. You come across as very likable. It sounds like you have a business and you're very clean cut. I would be completely honest. And it's not a court, but I'd throw myself on the mercy of the officer and say, "Look, I just talked to an immigration lawyer last night who, unlike my lawyer, knows what he's doing. And he told me about how I could have gotten advanced parole and I didn't know about that. And so now I really can't afford to be out of the United States for the next year or so, because that's what's going to happen if they don't give you that visa tomorrow."
Jeez.
Yeah, the lawyer completely messed up. And it's probably because they're a criminal lawyer in North Carolina, not an immigration lawyer. This is like basic stuff, not basic stuff, but this is something any immigration lawyer would know and would tell you. Even people in the comments, my friend, who watch this show, we talk about this on here, and I have there's clients of mine on this call right now who we did this for, right?
Gotcha. Oh,
So
yeah. I wish I would have heard about you, Jim. It's just,
I know, buddy. I know. Well, here's the thing. Send me an email tomorrow. Let me know how it goes. And this is going to be little consolation for you, but if you end up getting stuck outside Mexico, I hope you don't, but if you do, you have a cause of action against that lawyer for malpractice. That is legal malpractice to send someone to a visa interview, even if you didn't have the gummy problem, right?
all right.
All right.
So you think that's a plan we should do?
That's all you can do, brother.
Yeah. Or, because with now, having a business over there, I can't leave my wife and kids, it's tough. It's tough having a business, having to pay, guys, I put everything on hold for these 2 weeks. I was thinking I was going to come back, and now just being truthful got me to the situation, with this, and now trying to figure out. And I mean, the only thing I can think of, we have to stay here for a year. I think I might have to relocate my family,
Well, don't tell them that. Don't tell them that, because that would hurt a waiver. You might be able to, no, you can't get a waiver. You just got to go through the protocol. Yeah, it's a bad situation. I'm sorry.
Alrighty. Well, I mean, I called her and she said, "Yeah, you can still get it and stuff." But I know I've looked everywhere, and the reason why I'm calling you and I was building this because I saw you and preparation for interview, listen to the questions, short answer, tell the truth. So you're a heck of a lawyer and you know your stuff. And I just wish I just had a better lawyer, because if you had like Yeah.
My heart aches for you. So, but you know, the medical officer told you that you've tested positive and not passed the medical exam, right?
Yeah, so she gave me a paper. She sent me home with, or came to the hotel with a paper, and it says 6 months of classes and stuff, and
Oh.
then 6 months of anti-doping, like 6 tests during those
So
you
that's
know,
that's the protocol. So that's probably what's going to happen, Juan.
okay. So you think, okay, so after let's say I do this, I stay here because I'm not going to tell them this, but I am going to relocate
Yeah.
my family, move to Merida, save and put everything in stores. What I have to do over there in the States, after everything, the classes and everything, how long of a time to wait for me to do this whole process again and be able to get back into the States?
At least a year.
At least a year.
Mm-hmm.
And they just grant it to me, or do I have to file anything?
No, you just go through I've only had 2 clients successfully complete it, right? So I think that what'll happen is that you'll just stay in contact with the embassy. They'll be alerted from the medical officer. That officer will look out for you and sort of help navigate it. But I mean, Juarez is it's probably one of the busiest consulates that there are. So the biggest problem won't be you completing the treatment. I'm not worried about that at all. What I'm more concerned about is once you're done, how do we get them to pay attention to the fact that you are in fact done?
Yeah. Jeez, this is a horrible situation. This has changed my life. Like seriously, successful business over there in North Carolina. Trying to was going to buy a house this year. Practice bought my books for get my contractor's license. It sucks.
I'm sorry, buddy.
But Jim, appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Let me know.
All right.
See ya. All right, we're going to end on that. I got a call I got to do. It's right at 5. That was tough. We feel for old Juan. I'll be back tomorrow. Maybe he'll call us back with some miracle, but I don't think so. Especially if the doctor has outlined the protocol, that means we're in the protocol. Now, I think he's very articulate and will do a good job of advocating for himself. But I just don't know what the officer's going to do. They're going to give him all of a minute and a half to plead his case, and they're just going to look at that, and it's going to be tough. All right, everybody. Tomorrow's show will be at the same bat time, same bat channel, I believe, 4 o'clock tomorrow. We'll be back. And